It's time now to turn to the international newspapers. James, standing next to me as ever with this review, and you're starting off with an extraordinary story in The Guardian.
That's right, somewhat linked to that interview you just had about the European Union, I suppose, trying to deal with migrants and border controls. Libya accused of exploiting boat people. Now, they're saying that Gaddafi, who in the past had stopped migrants from coming towards Europe, he put border controls in place. Is he using refugees as a bargaining chip? In fact, is he using migration as a weapon to pressure NATO and the EU countries who are backing Libya's rebels? Essentially, what they're saying here is, in the best case scenario, Gaddafi's Libya is turning a blind eye to the thousands of migrants who are taking boats from the Libyan shores towards Europe. And in the worst case scenario, in fact, they're forcing them onto boats as a sort of a weapon to get NATO and the EU to sort of think about what Gaddafi's merits used to be, if you like. Now, the UNHCR reports witness accounts of Gaddafi's soldiers forcing migrants onto boats at gunpoint. And there are other survivors who told the UN that some ships were leaving Tripoli and the captain would then later disembark, get on a pilot boat back to the shore, telling the migrants, here's a compass, find your own way. Bearing in mind that a lot of these ships are also, these boats are extremely unseaworthy. And even just last Friday, a boat sank and there were 600 people aboard. One can presume that hundreds died. And they reckon that there are up to 1,200 people who have perished at sea in the Mediterranean Sea since March, when some 12,000 people have left Libya for European shores. Most of them actually not Libyan. They're sub-Saharan Africans who had been migrant workers in Libya and are now leaving.
Right, scary stuff. Okay, and I guess there's a bit of an editorial as well.
That's right, Simon Tinsel, he's basically saying, for instance, Nick Clegg in the UK has said that the UK won't accept Libyan refugees. He says that this is shameful. EU countries should go, in fact, beyond their legal obligations with regards to accepting refugees. They should be showing example. It's the decent democratic thing. It's the better way to beat Gaddafi. It's what the Arab Spring is all about. So quite a, I suppose, a left-leaning take on all of this, not so focused on border controls and immigration controls, but very much looking at the human drama here in Libya and, of course, in Europe.
You've also picked out something which looks a little bit bizarre from The Independent.
That's right. They've taken some odd headlines here about the Cannes Film Festival down south. Instead of looking at the glamour, they're looking at some of the less glamorous people on the red carpet, as we can see in, well, not in the photos, they look quite glamorous, but from disgraced D-listers to ex-drug dealing singers, Cannes embraces them all. And they're speaking about Plan B, an East London rapper who used to deal drugs. So yeah, they're really on a downer when it comes to Cannes. Let's have a look at the next article. Every last cliché about Paris, courtesy of Woody Allen. Now, this is Midnight in Paris. It's one of the movies that opened the Cannes Film Festival. Carla Bruni, of course, has a small role as a museum guide. They're saying it teeters on the brink of whimsy throughout. His classic one-liners are set against backdrops at the Garden of the Versailles Gardens. Sure. They're saying basically that you know, it's far from his best effort, and he's continuing his European epics. There was, of course, Vicky and what was it, Vicky and Tina in Barcelona?
No, I think I got Vicky and Tina. That's the one. Thank you. And producer in our ear.
Exactly. And his next movie is going to be in Rome, where we can expect lots of pizzas and Trevi fountains, I suppose.
I'm sure there will be. Yeah, I think you have to go to Woody Allen films with the right frame of mind.
Exactly.
They're usually a bit of fun and pretty anyway, at least.
Exactly.
Okay, and The Times. What on earth is this about?
All right, well, let's have a look at the photo, and I think you'll get it pretty quickly. The secret behind America's best-known comb-over. Now, he has spoken to Rolling Stone magazine, Donald Trump, that is, and he's told us his hair care secrets. Apparently, he uses Head and Shoulders, and apparently he lets his hair dry naturally for about 1 hour, which apparently explains the wispy cloud of orange hair that hovers over his scalp, as they put it. And it's often been speculated that it's a comb over. They say here, he says, I didn't comb it over. It's a sort of little forward and back move. I've combed it the same way for years, same thing every time. So I suppose...
I need his advice.
They're saying after Obama releasing his long-form birth certificate, which kind of didn't do Donald Trump much good because he was, of course, one of the big birther questioners, they're saying maybe now releasing details on his hair, he's hoping to have a similar sort of, what would you say, bump in the polls as Obama got after releasing his... I don't know. I'm not sure if you can compare the two.
A hair flick in the polls. All right, James, thank you very much.